Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Franklin from the Money Code Academy, and I'm glad you are watching. Now, if this is your first time of coming to this channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe and don't forget to click on the notifications bell so that the next time I post a new video, you'll be the first to receive it. On this channel, I talk about personal finance, I talk about financial freedom, entrepreneurship, and everything in between. So consider subscribing. Now, on today's video, I want to share with you something I titled 8 benefits of being broke. 8 benefits of being broke. Now, I know this might sound funny, but the truth is, being broke has some benefits. Now, there's nothing so good about being broke. Okay, nobody wants to be broke, but there are certain things that you could learn also from being broke, and this is so important. And so the first thing that you've got to understand from being broke is that it teaches you financial discipline. This is very important. It teaches you what? Financial discipline. A lot of times when there is money in your pocket, you want to spend on this, you want to spend on that. But that very moment when there is no money any longer, you start learning how to become financially disciplined. So that's something that you need to understand. Secondly, or rather the second thing that you've got to understand about being broke is that it teaches you humility. You know, the presence of money has a way of putting pride in people. If there is one thing that changes people's, or rather that amplifies people's character, is money. That moment where they know that they have money, sometimes they could become braggadocious, sometimes they could become very mouthy, they feel they can talk to people anyhow, you know. But the moment where there is no money, when there is absence of money, people tend to be humble. And so if there is one thing you've got to learn in your financial work, is that you've got to be humble. Learn humility. Because humility will go a long way to take you further than your mind can ever think about. This is very important. And the third thing that you've got to know about being broke, or rather the third benefit, is that it teaches you financial character. There are lots of people today who do not have the right financial character. But you see, the moment where you don't have money, you begin to learn financial character. You learn to spend wisely. You learn to make certain financial decisions wisely. You know, when the money is there, when you go to a shopping mall or to any place you want to buy something, sometimes you don't negotiate. Why? Because the money is there. But you see, whether there is money in your pocket or not, whether you have enough or not, negotiations is something that you've got to learn. And this is part of the financial character that you learn when there is no money. So to a great extent, being broke is not utterly a wrong thing or a bad thing. There is something you can learn from it. That's what I'm trying to communicate to you. There's something you can learn from it. Don't miss it, because if you miss it, then the purpose is defeated. So you've got to learn this. You can actually strike it rich from being broke. Trust me. Now, the next benefit that comes from being broke is that it teaches you how to generate money without getting a job. You know, today we're living in a world where everybody believes, or everybody thinks, that the only way to get money is just by getting a job. But that's not true. There are more than 1,000 ways of how to get money. When you don't have money, when you are broke, and you are thinking rightly, it could lead you into learning how to generate money without you getting a job. I've read so many success stories about people who went from nothing and they became something. There is so many of them. You get the point now? So you can actually come to that place where you start learning how to generate money. You don't have to depend on anyone. You don't have to depend on a job or on a company. But the question is, are you going to be willing to look in this direction? I want you to think about this. Are you going to be willing to look in this direction? The next point here that I've written down for you is that it helps you to develop financial management skills. There is no better time people learn how to manage finance than when there is no money. So that moment where there is absence of money, people learn to manage. People improve in their managerial skills or in their management skills when it comes to finances, which if the money was there, they wouldn't have looked in that direction. So it helps to develop that financial management skills. And then the next point here is that it improves your relationship with people. Most times when people have money, they don't value relationships because they feel they are self-sufficient. They feel that nobody is instrumental to their survival. So come on, they can act anyhow, but that is not how it should be. You should maintain relationship with people whether you've got money or not, because there are times when you may have certain needs that money cannot solve. It will take a relationship to solve it. And this is what being broke teaches you. It teaches you, or rather, it helps you improve your relationship with people. You get the point now? And then, again, the next point is that it teaches you how to be independent of money. Now, let me explain this. There is something called financial independence, but there's also something called independence of money. Financial independence is when you've reached that place where you are not financially dependent on anybody. You have more than enough. Okay, you have more than enough to spend when you want to spend it. Whatever you want to buy, you are free to do it at any time. But you see, there is also another part of financial independence where you are independent of money. Now let me explain this so that you will understand what I'm trying to communicate here. There are people today who are so dependent on money that if there is no money in their pocket, their countenance changes. They are no longer happy. They are sad. They enter into panic mode. Why? Because they are running out of cash, or they don't have cash any longer. But when you have been in that place of being broke, you begin to realize that the essence of life is not money. You begin to realize that you can actually survive without money. And this is something that most people, they don't think they can actually do. So being broke helps you in a way to become independent of money. You are no longer dependent on money for survival. You are no longer dependent on money to carry out projects. You are no longer dependent on money to do certain things. Now, we know that money is very important. We know that when there is money, it facilitates things. It helps you to achieve things quick and all that. But the truth is, you've got to come to that place where your life, your existence is not dependent on money. When you come to this place in your life, I am telling you, your life will not remain the same. It's the best place, or rather the sweetest spot. That moment where you don't need money for survival. I mean, you will need money to do certain things, quite all right. But when it is not there, you are still able to fix certain things in your life. So these are some of the benefits that I believe you can get from being broke. It's not utterly a bad place. Of course, I'm not saying that you should remain there. I'm just saying that if you're currently broke, there are a few things that you could learn from it. Look in that direction, because you're definitely going to come out of it. But when you come out of it, let those things you have learned, let it remain with you. That's my point. So that'll be all for this video. Thank you for watching. If you've gotten value from it, don't forget to drop me a comment, like the video, share with your friends and families who need to hear these words. And if this is your first time of watching, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notifications bell to ensure that the next time I post a new video, you'll be the first to receive it. And quickly, I want to say, if you are already subscribed, make sure you check again to be sure that you are still subscribed. I'll speak to you in the next video. Until then, keep cracking the money code. God bless you.